nothing more awe-inspiring than nature. There's no bigger hero than those who unlock its mysteries and share its majesty, protect its future. Explore your world everything on Earth with your big love. Slowly with myself connected. Maybe if you spend some open the world.
My towel fell down.
Explore.
I gotta get my towel fell down. Look. I finished.
Done good.
Right for you. Now I'm finished this here one over here.
Don't forget you wrote something down there on that
Mm-hmm.
before you throw that away.
Okay.
Get a $5. Phi Beta deal is, what is the fraternity of this Phi Beta? I say she's a Phi Beta.
Pertaining to whether Mr.
Germany and Australia. It's in Germany and Australia.
In Australia.
France, you know. What?
Australia.
This is Germany.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So they call them Saul of Tarshish, but that's where he lives, so that's where he lives. That's his. Start. Oh. No. I think it really everybody else. Oh, that's right. And every year that was his last meeting to like. I didn't know if they were calling something.
What time is it? 8:46. ¿Qué dice? Info
Samani Victoria.
2026. Are you sure? Okay. Yes, ma'am. The bottle is in the. Okay. Mira, por esa conoce a Caridad.
como la de español se reúnen ellos. No. ¿Conoce cuál es la clave?
Eh,
Está con
855.
trata de estar ahí, a ver si te agarra. Y no hay mano.
See,
Oh.
they're quiet today. They're not talking, which is very unusual.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I don't think anybody knows that they can unmute themselves.
I know.
Trust me. They know how to unmute themselves.
No, I meant when I come on, it's usually where you have control and you can't.
No, it
We
was
can't.
unmuted. He had it unmuted.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had it
Right.
unmuted. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that. I'm just saying. I don't know. I don't know why anybody isn't talking.
No, but you're giving people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trying to anyway.
Yeah.
That's what the Watchtower said this past weekend.
It sure
Give
did.
people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good
This
evening.
is Carolyn from Washington, D.C.
Hi,
Well,
Carolyn.
nice to meet you, Carolyn.
Nice
That's
to
Washington.
meet you too. Washington, D.C. Oh, well, it's okay. I've been in the house sick for a minute, so I go out tomorrow and I'll see how it is.
Well, the weather's supposed to be better tomorrow.
Yeah, it rained earlier today, so
Yes, it
hopefully
did. Yeah.
it stopped though, and the sun came out. It
Sure
stopped,
did.
and the sun came out and everything, so that was good. I
Yes.
don't know, and tomorrow is supposed to be good too. So
Yeah.
hopefully,
Yeah.
All week in Texas, where I'm from in Amarillo, it's
This is
supposed to be in
Vicky
the
from
high
New
90s,
Jersey.
Oh, wow.
which isn't normal.
Really?
This is Vicky
Yeah,
from New
our whole
Jersey.
winter.
What time are we starting? 9? Hello? Can you hear me?
I think so.
We're
Yeah,
starting at 9.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
it's
should be
usually
in 3
interesting.
minutes.
Okay.
it's usually 7 Texas time, and that's what my email told me. I get on, I'm like, oh no, something happened. I didn't get the email.
This is Sister Taylor from New
Hi,
Hi,
Jersey.
Sister
Sister
Taylor.
Taylor.
Hi.
Hmm? That's Google. Good Google. Oh,
So you and I are the only ones on videos, Stalin. Oh, we can't see. I can't see other people, can I?
maybe they're
You could.
hiding.
They're hiding.
Maybe they're having a bad hair day, you know?
Hey,
For
that's
those
every
of us,
day for me.
that's every day for you.
Yeah.
What time is it over there?
In Australia, it's about
Uh,
2 minutes to 9 o'clock a.m.
8. Oh wow. About
AM.
wow.
9 a.m. Yeah.
Wow. It's just
2 minutes.
about 8 o'clock in the PM for where I'm at.
Yeah.
We have 2 minutes
Yeah.
to 9.
Great.
I had my history lesson this morning. That was at 4 a.m.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. That's with another brother who does tours. That's Nathan Beaumont in where is he? Nottinghamshire in England.
Oh, in England.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
He does excellent tours as well. And he's a teacher, historian, so he has history classes as well.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
That's good fun. It's great. We get to see our brothers and sisters from around the world, and
That's
get to know
true.
them a little better.
Yeah, because I know a brother, Thomas. He does tours too
Yes, in
from
Berlin.
Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tomasz is he's cool.
Yeah,
I
he
love the
just,
fact that these brothers who do these tours, they have great senses of humor, don't they?
yes, they do. Yeah,
Oh.
because Thomas just got back from Japan.
Yeah,
Yep, so he's
yeah.
supposed to show, I guess one day he's going to show us his tour from Japan.
Yes. Did you see his photos that he was sending back?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I did.
Remember that one of Vioka standing in outside a big building and it had two giant cats?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I put a caption on that something like Chinese restaurant copes with world financial hardship by feeding feline growth hormone to unauthorized meat sources.
Yeah.
Alrighty, friends. It's 8 o'clock. Who's with me?
I am.
I am.
Who's
I
against
am.
me?
No one.
No one.
As I
I
just
like
said,
that. I like that. Alrighty. So now I'm going to put you on mute so that you don't unnecessarily unmute yourself and interrupt everyone. And I'm going to change the chat in such a way that if you type, only I will get it. I wanted to copy something. Give me 1 second. I just remember something. YouTube. Okay, friends, I'm going to put something on the chat. If you haven't done so, I want you to become a member of our YouTube channel. It's free. You can enjoy it. All of our tours will be recorded, and that's the place where you will find it. We are at this time at 675, and we need to reach to 1,000 so that we can qualify for other rights on our YouTube channel. So please help us with that. We greatly appreciate it. Okay, we're going to get started at 1, 2, 3. Welcome to another episode of Together with Stan. We have a fascinating tour today. It's called From Persecutor to Apostle. It's the story or the evolution of Saul of Tarsus. And we're going to get into the nitty gritty of where he was born. Why does that matter? How did that impact it? The preaching work in Europe. You're going to see all sorts of things. And it's all based on history, secular history, which anybody can check if they want to learn more. So let's get started. Again, this is our YouTube channel. We're going to be putting new videos every week. So if you like history, if you like the Bible, if you like archaeology, then this is the channel for you to go. In the future, I'm going to have a channel just about travel. Everything that's related with travel, that's going to be the channel. And I'm going to have another channel just about virtual tours. I'm going to separate the two so that it will be easier for people who travel to actually enjoy those episodes. For the next few weeks, I'm presenting a couple of tours for your enjoyment. Next Friday, we're going to go to New York, and this is the type of tours that will be in the travel channel. We're going to talk about places where you can go either physically or virtually. And we're going to have a channel just about history and the Bible. Following, that was Friday. And next Sunday, we're going to go to Paris, France, to learn more about the Moabite stone. The following Monday, we're going to be talking about Hannah, two Bible characters, Hannah and Samson. And for the last two tours of the month of May, I am not sure what to present. So I want you to take the time to send me an email, a text, or put it on the chat. Which tour would you like to see? You have the option of watching Daniel 1, Daniel 2, and Daniel 3. Boom, boom, 3 Daniels. Or you can choose to visit different museums. You have the Met, you have the Brooklyn Museum, or you have the Louvre. And very soon, we're going to add the Smithsonian and we're going to add the Museum of the Bible. So you friends will have to pick, what do you want? Please put it on the chat and let me know. I really, really love your input. So far, I have presented 2 tours. Daniel, Faith Tested by Fire, which was yesterday. Today, I'm going to be presenting how Paul became the apostle to the nations. I was planning to repeat those 2 tours by the end of the month, but I decided, you know what? Let me give them something new. You pick it, you let me know, and we'll take it. Now, I need to show you a tour that I just finished. Okay. I'm going to show you a video so that you can get ready. This is not the final, but this is very close to being the final. So this is the type of traveling videos that you will be seeing shortly in my channel. Take a look. Is it true that the video is not playing? Let me look at the chat. Obviously, we want all of them, but let's start with 3 Daniel, okay? No sound. Video, no sound, okay? And Trisha from Florida, there's no sound, okay. Let me stop. Oh my God, every day today has been just nonstop. Share, sound, optimize for sharing, boom, boom, and today we're gonna take a stroll through the ancient city of Babylon. We're gonna discover how archaeology backs up the scene where Daniel's faith faced its ultimate showdown. We're going to uncover how he held onto his integrity in a system that was created to wipe out his identity. We're going to talk about his name change. We're going to talk about refusing the king's table. And we're going to talk a little bit about the education they may have received while they were in Babylon. But we're going to spend a serious amount of time talking about Babylon because we need to understand the type of pressure that Daniel and his other friends actually endure. And that is episode 1 today. When you see this picture on your screen, you can actually put yourself there and imagine how horrible that may have been. The temple has not been destroyed yet, but the fact that they take you out of your house, you walk hundreds of miles, and now you're taken into a foreign land, it must have been scary. Your parents are not there. The elders are not there, and they're taking Jehovah's treasury and they're treating it like their own treasure. Friends, we really don't know what that scene may have looked like. I use artificial intelligence to get an idea using the little that we know on the Bible, because some of you have told me that the images of these videos help you remember what we have talked about. But every record indicates that Daniel was likely a teenager when he went to Babylon. This took place in Jehoiakim's 3rd year, and we're talking about the spring of 618. Remember this, 618.
Jerusalem's fall to Babylon in 605 BCE marked both political upheaval and a profound spiritual crisis for its people. Daniel and companions faced cultural pressure to abandon their faith in a foreign empire with opposing values. Daniel chose loyalty to his faith despite cultural challenges, setting a timeless example of spiritual endurance.
To fully understand Babylon, my wife and I took a trip to a museum. Are you able to tell which museum is this by looking at this video? Very good, very good. I think the flag gave it away. This is my beautiful wife. Isn't she beautiful? Yes, she is. Inside and out. She took a picture from inside the court, and this is a picture of us on a rainy day, because in London it's always raining. But we took a picture to show you that we're there. But when we were there, guess what? We learned more about Babylon. But we were not ready to conduct this tour yet. We just happened to be with a group of witnesses, and we found this. This may have been what the procession may have looked like from a helicopter. You know, as people are taken from different parts of the world, they are walking, and they are a spectacle. And they could have been completely impressed. That's why the organization shows the 3 young Hebrews looking up, looking at things that they had never seen before. The British Museum is the largest museum in the world, not in size, but in number of artifacts. But I'm going to share with you some of the things that we learned. So friends, right now, you, without going to the museum, you are seeing the oldest map in the world. And it was created by the Babylonians as they envisioned the world 2,600 years ago.
This ancient tablet shows how the Babylonians viewed the world. Babylon sits at the center along the Euphrates River. A great ocean surrounds the land, marking the edge of the known world, with mysterious regions beyond.
And this piece is on display at the British Museum. I have circled the map so that you can see it. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's what they believe. They believe that all the things outside of that circle was the ocean or something else. What's the point? The point is that the Babylonian or Babylon was in the center of the map or in the center of the world. They thought they were it, and there was nothing else on the planet. This other map helped us to see the world through the Babylonian eyes, where geography, beliefs, and a worldview all came together on one small clay tablet. But this is a map that you and I can understand. Can you find Jerusalem in the map? Right there next to Gaza, which is a name we can easily recognize. But the whole area, in what color is that? Dark turquoise. That area was what was known as the Babylonian Empire. Welcome, friends, to Babylon on Earth, following Daniel's footsteps. So what do we know? Well, Babylon was in a place that was called Mesopotamia, which literally means land between two rivers. What are the two rivers? The Tigris and the Euphrates River. The heart of the land was very fertile. It was rich. The soil was very good for farming and city growth. And the irrigation systems, because it has two rivers, actually turned this area into a food. So, friends, for some reason, the video did not continue playing. And you know what? It's okay. I show you a good portion of it. Now you know what it's gonna look like. And when I display the entire video, then you can enjoy it all together. So I apologize. I don't know what happened. I wanted you to enjoy that episode. I hope you like the new style of tour. Anyway, feel free to share with others what we're working. We really appreciate it. It is the best gift that we can receive. We have, as of the beginning of the tour, 675. And I'm going to refresh the screen. Let me see if anybody have signed up. Not yet. It's still at 675. So if you are not subscribed to our channel, I put the link in the chat so that you can become a subscriber. It's completely free. If you have a Gmail account, then it'll be a lot easier. All you have to do is sign in with your Gmail account. Feel free to recommend us with your friends. So the tour tonight, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this in 1 hour, tries to encapsulate how Paul or Saul went from persecutor to becoming apostle to the nation. We are going to be part of that transformation. We're going to talk about why he was so zealous. We're going to talk about the miraculous transformation, and we're going to see why Paul was able to endure all the hardship that the Bible said he suffered. I love this cover. It shows an angry Jewish man on one side, but it shows now the same man with a different attitude. And that's what Paul is Paul is like a broken jar that was put together by Jehovah, a person that has a Roman heritage, but yet Jewish background. Come and join me on this transformation journey and see where Paul gets his endurance. To begin, we're going to talk about where he was born. Okay, this is very, very, very important. Why? You're going to see how it plays out the fact that he had a Roman citizenship. So, by being born in Cilicia, you see it right there, Cilicia, Paul automatically, either by birth or by inheritance, he gets to be a Roman citizenship, a Roman citizen, which later you will see how he uses in the Bible. And this is very unique, how someone of a Hebrew descent can be a Roman citizen. It doesn't happen a lot, but it happens to Paul because he was born at the right place at the right time. And you're going to see how he used that. But when you study about Saul of Tarsus, you have to see the architect behind the persecution. First and foremost, he was very proud of his heritage. He came from the tribe of Benjamin, Hebrew born of Hebrews, a Pharisee, something that Saul was very proud. Another thing that added to the persecution was his education. He studied in Jerusalem under Gamaliel, who was a rabban, not a rabbi, a rabban, and they are traditionally very zealous of their religion. And the temperament, of course, the Bible says that Paul was breathing threat and murder because he thought he was right. He wrote in Romans chapter 10, verse 2, that had people were zealous, but not according to accurate knowledge. And he was speaking by himself. What you find there in Philippians chapter 3, verse 5, he says that he was a Roman by birth, but a Jewish by blood. Something, again, that doesn't happen that often. So, how does the citizenship worked on his favor? How did his citizenship promoted kingdom interests and opened the legal foreground for future legal fights? How did this all help? We're going to see it tonight in the tour. It is worth noting that Gamaliel had a very important role in the Bible. He not only was the instructor for Paul, but he also gave the leaders of Jesus' time very wise counsel. So it's worth that you guys take a look at Gamaliel as a personal study. So, what are we talking about here? What kind of personality did Paul have? Well, right now, I would like to invite a guest to uh, help us read. And I think Peter is raising his hand to say something about my mic. Can you hear my mic?
Yeah, I can hear you, but your screen is very dark.
My,
It's hard to see any detail on of any of the pictures.
oh, yeah, because they have a black background. But I guess I'll switch to a lighter one in a few minutes. This is
Okay, mate.
this is the darker side of salt. But good pointer. I'll keep that in mind for future flight presentations. So, friends,
Great.
Paul had an elite heritage. We talked about it, right? He was born in a city that, according to expert, can be compared to New York City. It was a massive economic and cultural hub rivaling modern New York City. Okay, so he came from a very prosperous city. He came from a very prosperous tribe. the tribe of Benjamin. And rich people back then had a unique way of raising their kids, which is good. I wish every rich person will do that today. What they did was, in addition to study law, they wanted their children to learn a trade, like a physical trade. Like today, we will call a plumber or an electrician. But back then, one of those trades was tent making. Yes, you heard it right. Tent making. So Saul's parents encouraged him to actually learn how to build tent, something that later in the Bible we see that Paul did as a way of earning a living. So some people call that Paul or Saul had the perfect combination. He was Hebrew by blood. He received kind of like a Greek education, and he was Roman by birth. And again, this doesn't happen very, very often because Hebrew people did not want anything to do with the Romans. But Paul did by birth. The part that we care about is when he became the persecutor. And can anybody help me read the mandate and let me know if the font on the screen is too small? The mandate. Can anybody give me a hand? Let's invite Janie Carter.
Driven by radical zeal, Saul serves as the chief legal enforcer for the religious establishment, breathing threats and murder against a
Nascent.
nascent movement.
Mhm. So now we know what was the mandate because he was part of a radical group, the Christians, or the Way, as it was known back then, they were considered to be a threat. Maureen, would you mind reading the escalation?
He provides the legal stamp of approval for the violent execution and stoning of Stephen, initiating a brutal campaign to drag believers out of their homes and into prisons.
Can you imagine that? Paul had the political pull, the education pull, and the financial pull to get all this done. For a second, he looked invincible. No one can stop it. He had the backing of everyone who had power. And then, boom, the collision. Lisa, would you mind give us a hand here? Lisa Khalid? Okay. Lisa, lower her hand. Let's
I am
ask
sorry.
Rita. Oh,
I'm
are,
sorry.
are you back?
Yes, I'm back. I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
Read the collision.
Mhm.
Okay, the encounter. Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? The reversal. The hunter becomes the prey, carrying warrants now led by the hand. The paradox. Companions hear a voice but sees nothing. Saul sees the light but enters darkness.
You like that? You like that? It's kind of cool, right? It even rhymes. That's right. A person who was literally not blind, but spiritually blind, became literally blind. And in a couple of days, he will become spiritually able to see. Question for you guys. In what language did Jesus speak to Paul? What language? Was it in Hebrew? Was it in Greek? Or was it in Latin? Let's see. You guys are pretty quiet today. I'm a little worried. Monica, what do you think?
I think Hebrew.
Hebrew. And Monica answer correctly. Can anybody help me read the linguistic bypass? And let's ask Tammy to read the reason as to why Jesus will speak to Saul in Hebrew, even though Jesus speak any language, and Paul spoke a couple of languages too. But let's read the reasoning as to why Jesus spoke to Saul in Hebrew.
Jesus bypasses Saul's academic Latin and philosophical Greek armor. The voice speaks directly in Hebrew, his mother tongue, the intimate language of his heart. This precision choice imitates a total psychological and spiritual collapse, stripping the elite enforcer of his defenses.
That's right. Jesus got him down. Of course, the people traveling with Saul heard something like mumbling, but they couldn't see anything. Saul was the only one that saw that. So for the next 3 days, something interesting is going to happen. In case you didn't know, he was living on a street called Straight. Can somebody tell me what happened on the next 3 days? Let's read it together. Let's learn together. Rita Sykes, now tell me what happened on the first day.
He had physical blindness. The man who believed he saw the ultimate truth with absolute clarity is violently stripped of his physical sight.
Look at that. Teresa Garcia, would you please read day number 2?
3 days in Damascus without food or water, a total physical dismantling of his elite pride, fasting in the darkness.
Yeah, yeah. And 3 days is not bad. 3 days is not bad. Some people have done even 30 days, but you can get the intensity of concentration that may have had someone so wealthy. And Jacqueline, would you please read what happened on day 3?
A brave local believer, Ananias, accepts the terrifying commission to walk into the darkness and heal the very man sent to execute him.
Ah, he was a brave man. Ananias, he must have been, but there's a reason why Jesus chose him. He knew he could deliver. So if we have to summarize a contrast between these two people, because I'm telling you, uh, Saul could not be farther from reality from Paul. Let's read one distinct reconstruction. Sister Taylor, read what was Saul and then read what became Paul. Only one of them.
The man carried the weight of royalty and worldly ambition rooted in the history of Israel's first king.
Right. All right.
Wait,
Hmm?
should I read the Paul also?
Yes.
A deliberate choice of a name symbolizing insignificance, embracing lowliness as a path to true greatness.
Isn't that something, friends? Isn't that something? If you didn't know, well, now you know. Saul, it's a name of the first king. He was raised in that kind of an environment. Right. But becoming Paul or little or self-imposed humility, it is just absolutely beautiful. The transformation was beyond recognition. No wonder some people were shocked. Let's ask Swave or Johnny to read the second line.
The status, the elite, the person. A high-ranking Pharisees wielding the authority of religious laws and state power, fearing nothing and no one. The status, the smallest of the apostles, viewing himself as the least worthy of the apostles, a servant to all, characterized by profound humility and service.
Yeah. So now we know. Now we know that when we read Paul's letters, now we can understand clearly the different man that he became when he became a Christian. Cherie Brown, read the next line, please.
The posture imposing religious law by force, driven by zeal and rigid interpretation, using aggression and persecution to compel obedience and crush dissent. The posture becoming all things to all people, adopting a flexible, empathetic approach, bridging culture and religious divides to connect with diverse individuals with grace.
Imagine that. We're talking about east from west, north from south, completely. But this is what the power of transformation is supposed to take place in each one of us. Maybe not as dramatic as Saul and Paul, but we all went through that spiritual transformation. Cheryl, would you mind reading the last one, please?
Yes. The mission, destroying the movement locally. His singular goal was to eradicate the nascent Christian sect in Jerusalem and the surrounding regions with ruthless efficiency. The mission, expanding the movement globally. His life purpose transferred into spreading the message of the gospel to the furthest reaches of the known world, transcending borders.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you very much. So now, friends, I hope that by this time, after we finish with this lie, a shift in identity, you can clearly see why the Hebrew wanted to kill Paul, why the Jewish people were so angry and disappointed with the Apostle Paul. And we can understand why Jesus will use him for the work that he is about to be done. But it's not going to be that quick. It wasn't baptism and let's go to work. It actually took sometimes 3 years for him to get ready. So you can see that it took a couple of years for Saul to be truly Paul and to start this global campaign that Jesus have assigned him. A lot of people don't know this. A lot of people believe that it was baptism and off we go. It wasn't like that. It took some time to get him ready for the assignment. And so do we. We will have to go through some transformation, and we need time to achieve that. And that's exactly what the Watchtower talked about this past weekend. The Bible students need time for that transformation, like Saul needed time. So, in summary, Saul was the name of a king, a elite Pharisee. The name Paul is totally the opposite. It means little, small. The shift, adopting a Roman name with one purpose, appealing to the Gentile population, because the Jews have rejected Jesus. So by rejecting Jesus, Paul is asked to talk to the nations. And this is why he is called apostle to the nations, or he becomes all things to all people. So for the next couple of years now, Paul is going to be traveling, spreading the good news like no other. Yes, persecution is very bad, but Jesus' opposers actually help the good news by pushing the Christians from the center of Jerusalem, taking the good news to the outer part of that city. It was painful, it was ugly, but he helped spread the message out. And that's what Paul did when he received his assignment. But something interesting happened. Something interesting happened. He tried to preach in different places, but for some reason, the Spirit will not let him progress, so to speak. Yes, he healed people here and there, but he couldn't preach. It was only until an angel invited him to go from Troas to the city of Philippi. Philippi is a city named after Alexander the Great's dad. His name was Philippi, and that's what the city was named after. So the fact that it was named after uh, Philippus, we can assume that that was a Roman city as well. And in this map, we show what happened from the year 49 to the year 52. Paul will write the first and second letter to the Thessalonians. And we're going to talk about that in the tour. But now you know that the first letter that Paul wrote, it was to the Thessalonians. Okay? All righty. Let's continue. The last trip was strengthening the foundations of congregations that he had visited before. This time he will leave Europe. He will come back then it was called Asia Minor, but today it will be called Turkey or Turkey, so to speak. And if you go to Turkey, they have tours about the Christian congregations. But along the process, we will see how much Paul had to suffer. And these are just stats for you to keep in mind when you are talking to non-believers or you're talking during your special preaching work doing the cards. This man went through a lot. But it was a prophecy being fulfilled because that's what Jesus told him that was going to happen. So in the Bible, Paul quotes or shares with people in authority that he is a Roman. He doesn't do it all the time. He does it at strategic points and locations. In this tour, and maybe in the second part of this tour, we're going to talk about why did he need to tell in Philippi that he was a Roman? Why did he need to tell in Jerusalem, a soldier, that he was a Roman? Why did he need to say in Caesarea, I appeal to the Caesar? You have heard all those three things in your Bible reading, I'm pretty sure. But now you're going to connect the legal strategy behind Paul's decision and how each move helped the legal preaching of the good news. Appealing to Caesar, some people call it was the nuclear option. It was to trigger the highest law of the land. But why will he appeal to Caesar? Why will he appeal to Caesar? Can anybody help me read the strategy? And another person help me read the result. When you read, my throat takes a break and can rest. Tammy, the strategy.
Facing certain assassination in corrupt local courts, Paul exercises the ultimate Roman right of privatio and syriacism. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing it right, sorry. The system is legally bound to comply. Caesarium, the system is legally bound to comply.
Exactly. So Paul noticed, wait a second, the local courts, they're going to hook me. They are going to hook me. So the best thing I could do is appeal to the Caesar because they cannot touch me if I say that. And that's exactly what he did. So, what was the result? Catherine.
The umpire is now forced to transport him safely to the capital at Rome's expense. An unjust imprisonment is strategically converted into an all expenses paid missionary journey to the center of the known world.
Look at that. And that's exactly what Jesus promised him. He didn't know how he was going to do that, but Holy Spirit guide him through that. So far, friends, so far, we have learned about his upbringing. We have learned about his education. We have learned about his bad choices, but we've also have learned about Jehovah's mercy, giving him an opportunity to retract. That's why when Paul asked Jehovah, remove this thorn, how did Jehovah react? How did Jehovah respond? Can anybody help me read this section, the thorn in the flesh? And I'm looking for new people to participate. Let's see. Sister Taylor has participated, Sister Wright, Linda Grant. Oh, Linda Grant closed the mic. Let's do it again. Linda Grant.
Okay, sorry about that. The external dangers, rivers, robbers, own race, nations, false brothers. The internal weight, the anxiety for all the congregations, and that's based on 2 Corinthians 11:28. The affliction, a persistent physical ailment keeping him reliant on God's undeserved kindness.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Linda. Good reading. So, friends, we are not exactly sure what was the thorn in the flesh. Our publications say that it may have been a physical ailment, but it could have been the internal weight of the congregation, or it could have been the constant threat of wanting to kill him. But Jehovah said, my mercy is good enough for you. Okay? All right. Paul loved to travel with people. He didn't like to travel by himself. So on every mission, he was always surrounded by someone. So on his secondary missionary journey, Paul, Silas, Timothy, Luke, and at some point in land, they will meet Aquila and Priscilla, where he would apply what he learned in tent making when he was younger. Remember that? Question for you guys. What was the primary cause of the disagreement that led Paul and Barnabas to separate before their second missionary trip? What was the reason? Jody.
That would be D, whether to include John Mark on the journey. And both were very stubborn about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, she got it right. It was D, whether to include John Mark. And friends, this is a lesson for us. The Christians in the first century, even though they were closer to perfection, they were still not perfect. There were disagreements, and yeah, later they got together and they put that in the past. But Jehovah makes sure it was registered in the Bible so that we can see that it's okay to get angry. It's okay to have different point of view, but don't stay mad. The team splits and then later rebuilt. A dispute over John Mark separates Paul and Barnabas. Paul recruits Silas and the young half-Jew Timothy, circumcising him to ensure a strategic access to synagogue. To the Jews, I became a Jew. Ah, that's what that means. By any means necessary. So, I talked to you earlier about the angel that talked to Paul, where all the roads were being blocked. An angel tells Paul that in a vision, he's told to go into Macedonia. And by looking at a map, Macedonia is what we call Europe today. Luke, the physician, joins the team and goes with Paul over there. And that's the trouble. So what happens in Philippi? In summary, Paul baptized the first Christian in Europe. That was Lydia. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. Paul expelled a spirit which destroyed the owner's profit. And this is the reason why Paul is thrown into prison. He even is beaten. He doesn't say anything about being Roman just at the appropriate time. And we're going to see how that helped the um, Philippi congregation, Philippians congregation. Let's see how that happens. But let's start from the beginning. So he gets to Philippi and he wants to go to where people are at. You know, he asks, hey, where can I find people who are God fearing? And people tell him, oh, yeah, there's a group of people that they go and they're washing their clothing, and but they go there to worship. Okay. So Paul says, so there's going to be a group of women away from Philippi. How far is it? It's about 500 miles. To some of us, we would have been like, what? 500 miles? That's 800 kilometers. But to Paul, who wanted to preach to someone, starts the journey. Paul, Silas, and Timothy leave the city of Lystra, and days later, they reach a paved Roman highway leading westward to most populated region of the district of Asia. Even before they can start the journey, they the spirit will stop him, and then he get the dream. He sent them to step into Macedonia, and this is where he's at right now. So Paul's party traveled to Philippi, and outside the city gate, the missionaries find a little river where they thought was a place of prayer. They went down to that spot and they found a bunch of people praying, according to the Bible, next to the Gangdite River, just as people foretold. So Paul takes the opportunity and start talking to one of the ladies who are there. I'm not sure what Lydia looked like, but I chose this woman because she's wearing purple, and purple was a very expensive color to find. Make a long story short, Lydia accept Christ, becomes a Christian, and now she uses her house not only to give hospitality to the travelers, but also for congregation meetings. And according to some people, Lydia's home becomes the first Christian household in Europe. And we're going to see who else. Does anybody does everybody blah, blah, blah. Does anybody know who else will become Christians shortly after Lydia? Does anybody know who will become a Christian after Lydia? Let me see the chat. What are they saying on the chat? June? June, do you know the answer? I guess maybe she meant to say the jailer. That's what she raised her hand and she had problem with the mic. So that's right, ladies and gentlemen. It was the jailer. Yes, the jailer, after an earthquake, he thought everybody had escaped. He took his sword. He was going to take his life. And Paul said, hey, 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 wait a second. We're here. We're here. Don't worry about it. We're here. Listen, let me talk to you about Jesus. And he's the second registered person that becomes a Christian in Europe. So Paul at this time must be very, very happy, must be excited because he's seeing what he's doing, but now he needs to run from Philippi because of the protest. He goes to Thessalonica, and over there's also a process where they wanted to kill him. But after Thessalonica, he goes to Berea, and the difference between Thessalonica and Berea is very, very different. The reaction to the truth is very, very, very different. But Paul has to move on. Let's talk about Thessalonica and what it looks like today. Right now, you're seeing an actual picture of Thessalonica, and it had a different spelling back then. Here's the theater, and some people believe that Paul may have used this theater to actually preach to a group of people. Why do we say that? Because these little doors that you see here on the left-hand side of your screen, those are actually markets, and this whole thing was considered to be an agora or a marketplace, and it's possible that Paul may have preached there. Please remember that Thessalonica was the first city to receive a letter from Paul. Here's another angle of the theater, and those white rectangles, those are actually booths for the market. As I mentioned before, because of the mob, he have to run away from there. So he goes from Thessalonica to Berea. In Berea, he's welcome, but the people, the mob, are following him also to Berea. And from Berea, he takes a boat and he goes to Athens. But he arrives there by himself. Can you imagine what that may have been like? It must have been crazy because in Athens there was a lot of idols. In fact, it was called the city of idols. How will Paul manage not to get in trouble in this area? By giving a talk or a speech about the unknown God. And that's exactly how he got around. He gave a speech. According to some experts, the speech only lasted about 3 minutes. And then, boom, he was off the hook, off the hook. Now we are entering into a conflict that took place in Jerusalem in regards to the circumcision. There was a movement where some Christian Jews were saying that the Gentile must adhere to the Mosaic law. The governing body considered the issue of circumcision. They asked Paul's opinion about it, and after consulting everyone, he came to the conclusion that the circumcision is not required for Christians. However, 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 Christians should continue to abstain from idolatry. Christians should be able to abstain from blood, and Christians should be able to abstain for sexual immorality. After this little event, Paul confronts Peter in Antioch about, having two faces, one for the Gentile and one for the Hebrews. Paul was an active publisher. Question for you. Why did Paul choose to circumcise Timothy at Lystra, even though it was not a Christian requirement? If you know the answer, raise your hand. Why did Paul choose to circumcise? Let's ask Robin Pierce.
Okay, B, to prevent Timothy's status from becoming an obstacle to Jewish listeners.
All right. Thank you, Robin. Let's ask everybody lower their hand. Anybody else? I just need to get one more one more answer. Brother Mike. Oops, I opened somebody else's mic. Mike, what do you think?
Okay. To adhere to the laws required for all the new Christians converts.
Okay. Thank you. I need one more. Rita, what's your answer?
D, because Timothy's father was a Jewish priest.
Ah. You think that's the final answer?
Yeah.
The right answer is, as a half Jew, Timothy's uncircumcised state may have caused the Jews to be prejudiced against their preaching. So the answer was B, to prevent Timothy's status from becoming an obstacle to Jewish listeners. It wasn't about whether it was right or wrong. It was about whether it will stop the good news for reaching its final destination. Okay, friends, it's already 10 o'clock and I am on slide number 64 out of 136. I'm halfway right now. So what about if we call it a day from this tour, and we can do the second part on another day. But let me conclude this piece. So closing the circuit, Paul sails to Ephesus, then to Caesarea, and we know what's going to happen over there. After agreeing the congregation in Jerusalem, the mission concludes back at the home base in Syrian Antioch. And this is where the next episode will conclude this tour. The Sovereign Shield, Paul's third journey, and subsequently the power to appeal to Caesar. So, friends, thank you very much for being such a great audience tonight. I will schedule Paul third piece, and to learn how did he finish his last trip, how did he stay faithful all the way to the end, and how we can imitate Paul when we have to preach the good news. I hope you liked today's tour.